Welcome to the Type 1 Lifting Podcast. Now enjoy the show. All right, guys, I want to tell you a little bit about Type 1 Lifting. So Type 1 Lifting is a clothing brand that proceeds of the shirts, the hats, and everything else go to the Children's Diabetes Foundation. This whole t-shirt company started from me taking care of a 5-year-old girl from the emergency department at the Children's Hospital I worked at in Atlanta for a while back. I thought I needed to do a little bit more than kind of just talk about my story. So this is how I started the clothing line, because I wanted to show people that even though diabetics have this really bad disease, we can still do amazing things in our life, and diabetes won't stop us reaching our goals. So go check out type1lifting.com. And, if you have any questions, you can always reach me out on Instagram. It's Type 1 Lifting, and hope you guys enjoy the show. Hey guys, we have a new sponsor for the Type 1 Lifting podcast. The company's called Liberté Lifestyle. So Liberté is a French word meaning freedom, and the company was founded on the desire to have freedom to choose what we want to do with our lives. I actually had the owner, Nicole, on my podcast on episode 28, so if you want to go back and listen to her, she talks about how she started the company and what she wants to do in the future with the company, which is pretty cool. So they actually have knee sleeves, wrist wraps, shirts, shorts. Love the knee sleeves. I have the ice cream knee sleeves, and I love them so much. The neoprene's still good. The seams haven't split compared to other knee sleeves that I've had in the past, and I'm planning to keep these for a very, very long time. So Nicole actually gave me a promo code for you guys too. So it's all capital letters, TYPE, and the number 1. So it's Type 1. So go to libertelifestyle.com, check out what they have in the store, use the promo code Type 1, and save some coin. Now let's go to the episode. All right, guys, welcome to a new episode of the Type 1 Lifting Podcast. I have a very exciting guest. She is a CrossFit athlete and actually going to the Granite Games in a couple of weeks. Vicky Caruso, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not bad. I do want to give the listeners a heads up. I just had nose surgery done on Thursday, and so this is like 4 days out, or like actually no, yeah, 4 days out. So if I'm wiping my nose on the YouTube land, that's me trying to have my nose heal. So bear with us, please. But thank you for coming on, by the way. I know you're kind of a newbie, you said yourself, to the podcast space. So what do you think about podcasting?
I guess they're fun, talking to new people, meeting new people. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is only my second one, so I guess I don't have such a strong opinion about them yet.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So did you get nervous on the first one, and how did you kind of be even keel on
Yes, I get very nervous doing any type of interviews. Even back when I ran track in high school and college, I get really nervous, and I'm not good.
Okay, all good. So I know you're originally from Jersey, and you're currently there right now. So what? So I'm a New Englander. So I'm originally from Massachusetts and moved down to Atlanta. So what made you stay in Jersey?
Oh, just my family is here. I was born and raised here. I went to Delaware for college, and then I came back. My parents live about a half an hour away. Majority of my family is within an hour drive. So, like I said, I started working in a gym after I graduated and whatnot. That was in Jersey. So everything is here.
Okay. And you said you ran track. You were a D1 sprinter at Delaware. Mm-hmm. So were you pretty much when did you start picking up doing track and fields? Was it relatively early, or were you playing all types of sports throughout the whole time?
When I was younger, real young, I played basketball, softball a little bit. But once I got into I guess it'd be 7th or 8th grade. I don't really know how old you are there. I did track and found out that I was pretty good at it. And then once I got into high school, I solely focused. I did cross country in the fall, and then winter and spring track. So.
Okay. And what made you kind of stick to the sprinting stuff? Because is that kind of your favorite, length, 100, 200?
The 200 was my favorite, and I was just good at it. So I tried out jumping in a couple of the field events, and I'm not super coordinated, so it just didn't go that well. And anything longer than a 400. I'm just, even when I was running cross country, I would like kind of dog the whole race and then just like sprint the last 400 and it passed like 10 people. And my coach is like, if you like ran faster the rest of the race, like you'd be able to do better. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just like that like sprint at the end. So that's kind of what pulled me towards sprinting. And then I was good at it. And that's what I stuck with.
Okay. Okay. So little story about sprinting at the end. So my wife and I, we did the Lululemon Seawees like half marathon run in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a dude called Dr. Dribble. So I guess he like dribbles two basketballs while he's running the half marathons and marathons or whatever. He did the New York City Marathon. So there was a turnaround at the in Vancouver when I did the race, and I saw him dribbling the basketballs, and I told my wife, I'm like, we are not losing to this gentleman right here. There's no way. And so we're like a mile left in the race, and like we're kind of like jogging it, and all I hear is do 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 do, and it's the basketball dude, and I'm like,
and you're like, I gotta go.
I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, we can't lose. So I literally grabbed my wife in a hand, and we started running even quicker. And then we got to the straightaway. I literally yanked her and just like sprinted to the finish line, and like he was like 2 seconds away from beating us. And so it's funny, like in the videos that from the Seaweeds thing, you can see my wife like right before they take a picture of Dr. Dribble or Mr. whatever his name, Mr. Dribble, and my wife looks exhausted. She's like, "What the hell did you just put me through?" So like I know how the sprinting goes, like because I always like sprinting towards the end and try to beat a couple people.
Yeah, when everybody else is like really struggling.
Yeah, that's the best part. You're like just want to slap him and like hit him in the back, like, "All right, see you later."
Well, because you're almost done at that point. Like anything less than a minute, you're like, okay, I'm almost done. I can push a little bit harder.
Yeah. So did you do track all 4 years at Delaware?
Mm-hmm.
So how far did you guys make it? Because I know Delaware is a kind of like a smaller school, smaller D1 school. So like, is it like Division 1 AA or what is it?
So track we were just Division 1. We were in the CAA conference, the Colonial Athletic Conference. We were with like George Mason, a couple other schools, Maryland, a couple other schools like the Maryland, Delaware, like North Carolina, Virginia area.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we won conferences as a team, but track's individual. So like the furthest I've made it would be regionals, and a couple of the other athletes were regionals. None of us have made it past that into nationals.
Okay. So after you finished college in track, did you kind of feel like a little empty? It's like a little empty after playing sports for so long, because that's how I felt, because I played two different sports in college, and like after college I was like, what am I gonna do?
I stopped working out completely because I guess everything was around, like the only reason I even went to college was to run track. I really didn't have like a desire to go to college, but I ran track, so it brought me to college. So then after it, I was like, what do I do now? And then I just like completely stopped exercising because I was just like so burnt out from the past however many years. Yeah. And then I got a job and became an adult.
Yeah. So I know, especially with being in D1, it's like very, very structured. And obviously, like, you don't have that after, so it's not like no one's forcing you to go to the gym or no one's forcing you to do anything.
Yeah.
So
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean that happened to me too. But when did CrossFit come around for you?
So I graduated in May of 2013. Like I said, didn't do anything. Got eating bad, partying, whatever, and then that April of 2014, my friend Joe, who I was on the track team with actually at Delaware, opened a gym like 10 minutes from my parents' house. And he was like, you should come try it. And I was very against CrossFit. I was like, so dumb. Like, who would want to work out like that? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, just come, like, bring a couple of your friends. It'll make like the gym look full, because I'm just starting out. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I started it and I loved it. Obviously. And then about December of that year, I got my L1. I started coaching, and then it kind of went from there.
Okay, very, very cool. I did forget to mention prior for like your D1 stuff, what was some of your favorite moments as a D1 sprinter in college?
Some of my favorite moments, probably freshman year, I won Rookie of the Year for my conference, and then senior year, I won Most Valuable Runner. So those are probably two of my best, like kind of coming full circle as Rookie of the Year, and then also getting MVP and the Most Valuable Runner at the end of the conference.
Okay, very cool. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations. Um,
thanks.
so do you remember your first CrossFit workout?
No, not my very first CrossFit workout. No, I mean it was probably just a regular workout. We don't really do like the girl workouts and hero workouts and all that stuff. So it's probably just like I don't know, something simple.
Yeah, and obviously, they kind of lit a fire underneath you, as being like, "Hey, I want to keep on doing this." And you said you got your L1.
Yeah.
So did
Well, I like the structure again. Like I was never a person who was just gonna go to the gym and work out by myself, like go to like, a regular gym. I needed like a class setting, I needed a coach, I needed a strict program that I was following to be able to get into the gym. Otherwise, I wasn't like, I'm just not gonna go like figure out my own stuff to do or ride the elliptical or whatever. Like that just wasn't me.
yeah, and it's
And I
very
like lifting. I mean, lifting is the best part of CrossFit. So
yeah, I completely agree. So I especially for like I completely understand the way that is because like I would go into a gym and do like the typical bro splits because I'm like, oh, I read a Men's Health magazine. All right, I know what I'm doing. It's like I just follow this program,
yeah,
and come to realize that person in the magazine doesn't even use that program.
no.
But yeah, and I definitely did like the structure of CrossFit, which still do now.
Yeah.
But like with the L1, so what was your whole, going to the class for the weekend, and like what was your whole expectations with getting your L1?
I really just wanted I wanted to coach because the Joe needed coaches, and then I wanted to learn more. Like I didn't really, when you're lifting in college, especially like track and field, we're not exactly like a high priority sport. Um, so we didn't have always the best coaching in as far as like Olympic lifting and like weightlifting. Same thing in high school. Like they did a great job, don't get me wrong, and like I knew the basics, but I wanted to know a little bit more, get a little bit more technical with everything.
Hmm.
So that was like that, and then I obviously wanted to coach were the two main reasons I went for my L1, and I loved it. I mean, it was the seminar staff they're so nice, they're so helpful. Like it was a great experience.
Okay, very cool. Now, what would you tell somebody that's like very, timid or like very nervous of going to like an L1? Like what should they typically expect or like the whole like weekend?
Um, just that like there's nothing to be scared about. Like everybody, I found that most of the people that I was in my L1 with were pretty new to CrossFit. And a lot of them did like the same thing. They maybe didn't want to coach. They kind of just wanted to learn more. So there's nothing to be scared of, and just ask a lot of questions. Like if there's anything you're unsure about or anything like that, just make sure you ask all your questions there, and like the staff will be super helpful.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And you said you wanted to coach. So what made you wanted to get to start doing coaching people?
Um, I'm not 100% sure because like I was always the athlete. I never really thought about the coaching side of it. Like I was a history and political science major in college. So like nothing, exercise science or or anything like that would like bring me down a coaching path. Um, but as I like did CrossFit and I liked it a lot more and I like met all the people and like I just found myself kind of naturally helping people because
Hmm.
I had a little bit more background in some of the things and some of the movements and whatever. And then so that kind of led me into like, oh, maybe I could actually coach a class and then kind of go from there.
Okay. So what's obviously like every coach has a different way of like, teaching people. So what's your way of coaching?
What do you mean?
So like obviously like someone's very like, hands-on or like they're very
Mm,
good at like communicating. Like I'm a big person of like showing people how to do it instead of like talking them through it because I just the way I
that's how
talk.
I am.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
because
the same. I'm the same way because I'm like, I feel like sometimes when I try and explain something, it's not coming across the way it is like to me. And everybody responds to that differently, like especially cues and stuff. So like, yeah, I could tell you something and then you're looking at me like I have like 6 heads. So it's just easier to kind of show you exactly what I'm doing versus like somebody else, I could say the same thing and they're like, okay, yeah, I got that. So
Okay.
I like showing people.
Yeah. So what are your favorite cues that you like to teach people?
Favorite cues? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I love teaching people lifting because I like the more technical side of like Olympic lifting, power lifting versus like showing somebody an air squat. Not that like that's not technical, but
Mhm.
like I love teaching people how to snatch or how to clean. It's just also cool because it's like seeing somebody who has never lifted a like especially women or like an older woman who's never lifted a barbell before and then she does a full squat snatch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And especially when they stay at the bottom and like they they caught it and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, and stand it up. Yeah, I love
And they
seeing
like
that.
never thought they'd be able to like get into that position. Yeah.
Yeah, even squat cleans too. I love seeing people like just hit it and like get it, and then like just they're down below and they're like, okay, I'm gonna rise up.
Yeah.
I got this. And even jerking too.
Yeah.
It's like when they
Sorry, you
finally,
froze for a second there.
oh, all good. And so obviously with in the jerk in the jerk too. Obviously like when they like finally get underneath it and pop and like they
Mhm.
have it. It's just like it's so cool to see it in their facial expressions.
It's that moment where like they realize like, oh wow, I just did that, or I just did that correctly too.
Yeah. And I love the people that do bar muscle ups or something like that and they get it their first time and just like how excited they are their facial expressions
Hmm.
are. So
Yeah.
so when did you realize you were starting getting pretty good at doing CrossFit?
Um, I guess so. 2018 was the last year they had regionals, like traditional regionals.
Hmm.
So 2017, we tried to go team. It's when it was still team of 6, and we actually missed regionals by like 3 points or something. It was, and then we came back 2018. It was team of 4, and we qualified for regionals. That kind of started and I was close that year qualifying individual. Actually, I was only about I think like 15 spots out or something. And I was only doing CrossFit for about 4 years at that point. So that kind of showed me that I was starting to get pretty good. And then I did Granite Games when it was still like just a qualifier competition, individual. And I guess I just saw the progressions, and then I ended up going team, and here we are now. But
Yeah. So what made you want to go team instead of just like trying individual like right out of the bat?
um, it's fun. It's really fun. Especially because like our team, uh, Joe owns the gym. Brian and Tanya. Brian's another coach. Tanya's his fiance. Um, we're all best friends. So like I started working for Joe first, and Brian came in, and then like we all became like Tanya was a bridesmaid in my wedding. I'm in her wedding. So we're all such good friends. So like competing with each other is just so much fun because it's like it's just you're working out, you're hanging out. And team is also like I feel like you can always push yourself a little bit harder when you're on a team
Okay.
because like if you're watching like your best friend suffer, it's like okay, well I'm not gonna quit. Like I have to do my part, whatever, to make up for it. So yeah, that's what kind of brought us to the team side of things.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's not as like grueling of training. Because you do complement each other. Like I don't have to be amazing at everything. I can be really amazing at certain things and then just kind of like middle of the pack on other things because they're going to be amazing at those things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And I love how I like how people start as a team first, then go individual because they kind of get a taste of, especially when you went to when you were at the games, like you get the taste of that, like even like what it's going to actually going to be like, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to kind of
Yeah.
take it to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. So ours was like we went to West Coast Classic last year, the semifinal, and we ended up having to withdraw because one of my teammates got sick. But that kind of was like my all right, I think it's time for me to go individual moment because like I feel like I'm ready as an athlete and I'm I don't want to like rely on, because I was like so devastated because like we were doing so well and like we had such potential, and I was like, I don't want to rely on other people anymore. Like
Hmm.
this needs to be about me.
Okay. And how did the training ramp up for you from going from team to individual? Is it like a lot more
Oh, it's
hours?
totally different. Yeah, it's totally different. It's way more hours. It's because you have to train, not that you were not training everything before, but like you really do have to train everything, hit everything not every day, but like,
Yep.
every week or whatever. So it definitely just increased just time, basically, and volume, time and volume.
Yeah. So typically, like, how long do you stay in a gym for your training, or do you take like, do a couple hours in the morning, take a break, and then like do a couple hours in the
So
afternoon?
that's how I do it. So I actually coach the 5:30 and the 7 a.m. every morning. So I wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, coach, done at 8, come home, I'll like eat breakfast, kind of relax a little bit, and then I go back at like 11, 12-ish for my first session. Then that'll be like 2 hours ish or whatever. Then I'll take a break for like an hour or so and then do my second session. And
Okay.
then come home like 6-ish or whatever, 7-ish.
Do you coach people in the afternoon at all?
Not in the afternoon. I just do the early mornings right now.
Okay. How do
But
you like
like
it?
I've changed. How do I like the early mornings? I
Yeah.
mean, I like the classes because I like the our members who take those classes because they are a little bit more experienced, a little bit more dedicated. We don't not a lot of newbies, I guess, come to the 5:30. Not that I don't love like coaching newer people, but it's a little bit more fun coaching higher level athletes, people who also like understand a little bit more. You're doing more with them. So like that's one of the reasons I like. And then I like being done coaching at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Most people are not even starting their day yet, and I've already worked for 4 hours.
Yep, yep. No, that's me. I'm an early morning guy, so I'll get up at like 4:20 or 4 o'clock just to go to the gym at 5, and then try and
Yeah.
then work out, and then by the time I get home, I'll wake up like I'll get my son breakfast, get him ready for school, and then kind of go to work and start at 8:30, and then get home at like 5:30.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but I mean, you got to do. I would love to coach full time.
Yeah.
It's just
Gotta
pretty
pay the
much,
bills.
yeah, pretty much that in medical bills. So I need to have
Yeah.
insurance. That's the main thing. So because
That's
diabetes
true.
is not cheap. So it is crazy to see from 10 years ago what it was for a vial of insulin to now how much it costs for a vial of insulin. It's just,
Really?
yeah, it's so I'll give it a little example. So I think it was like 2010, a vial of insulin was like $30. Now it's up to like close to like 400 now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. And then like my old job when I was working at the hospital, I'd probably be paying, let's see, $120 for a 1 month supply or 2 month supply of insulin and that's just one of them I have to take. I have to take another one. The other one's like $300. And this is
Yeah, so not having health insurance is not an option for you.
no, no, no. And especially I have two little ones too, and my wife, and so like I got to keep them on insured too. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard. It's like I've seen people cry hysterically because they have to pay $1,000 for their kids' insulin. They can't afford it.
that's horrible.
Yeah, so that's another rant I can get on for another time, but we won't do that. Um, so I was looking at your Instagram account, and so I don't know if I'm quoting this right, but you're considered the head bitch in charge of the Sparta Station Athletics. So
Yeah.
first of all, how did you get that title, and when did you start working at Sparta Station Athletics?
Um, I titled that myself,
Okay,
obviously. um, so I'm the general manager. So that's why I made that title, made that joke or whatever, because I basically just run everything. Like I coach still, but I do all the billing, I do all the memberships, like all that. So I just the social media, like everything that goes into running day-to-day operations for the gym. So I started coaching there, yeah, 2014, 2015, as just a part-time coach. I was still doing like a regular job. Um, and then I probably went full-time maybe like 2 years ish later, 2017 ish, 2018. I went as a full-time coach. We had two locations, so I was like bouncing back and forth between both of them.
okay,
And then I've been in the general manager role probably right before, probably like 6 months ish before COVID. So like 2019. So about what, 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. And I know since you're in Jersey, they had all those lockdowns in the gyms. So how did you guys like maintain keeping the clients and having them still train? Like what were you doing throughout that whole process during COVID?
So we're really lucky because one, we're a smaller gym in like a smaller town. So we have a really strong like base membership of people who've been with us since we started 8 years ago. So like they're not going anywhere because we're a family. So we started with online, just Zoom classes like most people did. And we let people rent equipment. Well, we let them actually, we didn't even rent it. We kept their membership active and then they were able to take the equipment home with them.
Okay.
And then we ran Zoom classes. And then once we were able to do like outdoor classes, there's a park down the street. So we were there. And then the way our gym is, we have like our own private parking lot.
Hmm.
And we're kind of like tucked in the back. So like you're not driving up there unless you're going to the gym, or there's like a shooting range, I think, like way back in the woods, like for the police. But that's the only reason you go back there. So like we would just block off the parking lot, move all the equipment basically like right to the garage door so that nobody had to go inside. And then we would just do our classes. That was like probably July, whenever we were allowed to do outdoor workouts. We just did almost the whole schedule of classes outside in the
O-
parking lot.
Okay. How weird was it training all by yourself in the gym or in your house? Like
Well, we still trained in our gym because we just went at different times. So like if I
okay.
was there by myself, then the other people would go on the other coaches would go on like their own time. Everybody kind of had a schedule like, I'm going to be here from here to here, and then you're going to come in, or whatever the case is. It sucked. I don't like training by myself. Even now, like once I went individual, I'm doing a lot of training by myself. I don't like it at all. It's probably the biggest thing that I miss about team training.
Yeah. So do you go to like other people's like gyms or boxes just to train with other people just to kind of like challenge each other pretty much?
Yeah, so I go to our other gym, CrossFit Roseland, and train with Marquand. But that's pretty much it. I'm comfortable at my own gym. I have all my stuff there. I don't really like traveling all over the place and going to new places.
Yeah. But isn't that kind of good? Just kind of not getting used to like, a new environment and kind of lifting different.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just lazy sometimes, rather than just stay at my own gym. But I've talked to like other friends about trying to and it's also hard to match up people's schedules too,
Yeah.
because I train generally in the middle of the day. So I'm pretty much from like 11 to like 4-ish or 5 or whatever. So
I would love to have that training schedule. I, I would love to have
it
that'd be
is
amazing.
nice.
Yes, it is. So what's some good advice for, being a GM for a gym? Like what have been like some of the good things in, that you've been doing as a GM?
Some of the good things.
The stuff that you really like to do.
Well, it's nice. Yeah, so I like the membership side of things. Selling memberships, meeting new people, bringing new people in. Especially with like our sport. We're not a CrossFit gym, so we're kind of like, it's more like functional fitness. So people come in, they like think it's CrossFit, and then we have to like, and that automatically scares them. And then we kind of go over everything. They're still like a little bit hesitant. So I like bringing them in, and then they get to see, and then they're like you said, they'll surprise themselves because they'll do a snatch or they'll do a clean and jerk or something they didn't think that they. So I like that aspect of it. Yeah, that's probably my favorite part. And coaching still. I still love coaching.
Yeah.
It's all the other.
That's all the other
Go
stuff
ahead.
that's annoying, like cleaning the toilets and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
dealing with the issues and the drama and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, because like I saw a video of Ryan Fisher. He was videoing him like cleaning the bathrooms. He's like, "Listen, I'm a gym owner, and I'm cleaning the bathrooms." And like, there was one of the urinals that was like not working, and so he said like, "Do not use." And like, there was like it was just covered like in piss because like people just still use the bathroom.
Still
And
used it.
and he's like, "You
Yeah.
mother effers! I told you this thing's clock like
Yeah.
not working, and you guys
Uh,
still pissing it." So yeah,
they don't. People just don't care.
Yeah. So do you think that people are more cautious of like protecting like the gear at a like a CrossFit gym or a functional fitness area compared to like a global gym? Or, like and what's the reason why you think that?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't been to like a global gym in a while, so I'm not really sure about that. But I think in our gym, any type of like functional fitness, CrossFit gym, whatever it is, you don't have a lot of it, so it's not like you have like an abundance of plates and barbells and kettlebells or whatever it is. So like you kind of want to keep everything nice because if you break it or whatever, you might not get another one of it. Like
Hmm.
we can't, especially a smaller gym. Like we don't have all this like extra money where we can just like buy new rowers or buy new whatever we need. Like, so I think people take care of it a little bit more because they know that like, and it's a little bit more personal too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like they know the owner, they know the coaches, like we're all versus like you go to like the Globo gym or something, you don't half the time you don't have see anybody there, so you don't really give a shit about something that you're like, oh, they have millions of dollars, they're a big corporation, they can just buy whatever they need to.
Hmm. Yeah. And like they still don't fix the machines either, so it takes
Yeah.
forever. So
Yeah.
so a little backstory. So I do all my lifting videos and stuff like that's done at a Globo gym, but they have like bumper plates and like a barbell and all that stuff. But they have rowers and everything except for like
Mhm.
assault bikes. But the rowers, there's one rower that I do not go on because literally you pull on it and it doesn't catch the chain doesn't catch on the wheel and it just starts like skipping. And it's like you try to pull, you have the thing all the way up at 10 and you're like yanking on it just to
Nothing
get more
happens.
nothing. It's like 5 strokes per
Nothing.
1 calorie. You're just like, what am I doing? Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? And like, it's a workout with calorie rows in it. You're like, okay, I guess I'm
I'm not
doing,
going anywhere.
yeah, I guess I'm doing like, sumo deadlift high pulls or something like that just to kind of
Instead,
get the
yeah,
stimulus. But,
get the same movement. Yeah.
yeah. So, as a GM, do you listen to like other like videos or any podcasts about like being a GM at a gym at all?
Not so much anymore. I mean, when I first started a little bit, but now I've kind of just like we just kind of do our own thing.
Okay.
Seems to
Okay.
be working. So
Hey, whatever. If it works, just keep on doing it, right? So, so
yeah.
while you're training, what's the type of music that you like to listen to?
I like house music, techno music,
Yes. All right.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who's your favorite DJ?
Well, currently our big song is Avicii Levels, so keeping it old school. I like a lot of like I don't love some of the new stuff. Like Avicii, I like Calvin Harris, Swedish House Mafia, some of like the older guys that like that's what I kind of lean towards.
Yeah. Do you like Skrillex? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it
Yes,
right.
I like
Okay. Yeah.
Skrillex, yeah.
Skrillex. That's it. Yeah. My son likes the Reptile theme song from Skrillex. So like, we jam it on the way to school because like I played it one time and he's like, Dad, play the Reptile song, and I'm like, okay, and he's like 7, and he gets like all amped up and like we play it like before a soccer game to get him all psyched up too, and he's like,
That's great.
I love techno, and I was like, I know you're my son now, so it's official. Yeah, I used to listen to techno way back at like 998 pretty much in high school.
Yeah.
So I just dated
I
myself too,
just
by the way.
I just like the fast pace of it, and like sometimes you'll find with like other genres of music, like you get into like slower songs or like just parts of the song will be slow, and I hate that. Like I hate like lulls like that. I need it to be like pumping the whole time. And I'm from Jersey, so obviously I like house music.
Yeah. So speaking for Jersey, have you ever dated a guy with a blowout haircut?
No, I haven't. Not quite my style. I'm not quite Jersey Shore.
Okay, okay. Whereabouts in Jersey are you from? Like, are you like Northern Jersey?
Yeah, so like northwestern Jersey, Sparta. I mean, it's pretty close to Pennsylvania, actually.
Okay, all right, very cool. Yeah, I've been to Jersey a couple times. So I've been to like Atlantic City. That's one. Oh gosh, there's like a
So
bunch of
we're
other
way
ones.
up north.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, very cool. So you're going to the Granite Games this year. So,
Mm.
was that one of your first choices, or did like how did that go? Did they just say, "Hey, you're going here"?
Yeah, so they sent out a questionnaire, and basically last year you were able to kind of choose. They gave you like, you got to rank where you wanted to go, but I think that was because of like all the COVID restrictions. This year the main question they asked was, is there anything stopping you from going to Canada? Um, Other than that, they didn't really ask anything else. So I'm pretty sure they just placed everybody. They said they were going to seed it like 1, 2, 3, 4, like goes here, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. But I know they probably had to change that around again with the restrictions. But I was actually a backfill. I was 129th in the quarterfinal, so I didn't get like a first round invite. I got a second round invite, so like 2 or 3 weeks later. So I was just kind of happy to get one and be able to go
Yeah.
to any of them.
Yeah, I remember that Instagram post. You were just I remember vividly of it. Like you're on the assault bike and you're just like writing that whole like that post about like thinking like, okay, now I have to wait and
Yeah.
see if I can get in. So
Hmm.
what was like going through your head throughout the whole process of like waiting to finally go into like a semifinal?
I wish I did better in a couple workouts. So I didn't have to wait. Being in limbo sucks, like especially because like CrossFit changes their rules so much that like, they say they're gonna do backfills, but then it's like maybe they don't, maybe they change their mind. And it's like, so just that waiting, like what's gonna happen? Am I gonna get the invite? Am I gonna even be able to like book my travel? Because like at that point, it's like the first semifinal was only like 3 or 4 weeks away, not even. So it's like, well, if I go to that one, I'm gonna have to book a flight. So it was just a lot of like worrying and being sad that I didn't do better in a couple workouts because I was only out of it by like 20 points or something. It's like, it's not like I was so far down the list. So it was like, you know, being 10 spots better in one of the workouts, which is what, 10 seconds, depending on, like would
Yeah.
have put me in a regular qualifying spot. So, but
Okay. Yeah.
it all worked out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a learning experience, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I got a little bit cocky. So it definitely took me down a notch.
so how are you cocky with like you're like, oh, I'll just kind of
I
like
was
take
just
it
like,
easy.
yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna make a semifinal. It's not gonna be an issue. Like thinking way ahead of it versus like, well, not that I didn't like try my best. Like I obviously did, and I just wasn't prepared for the couple of the things. So it like really set me back. And it was like, okay, like you had to work. Like you still have to work. Like you're not just gonna make us. Because I was like, oh, we made it last year, and like the workouts weren't bad, and I'll be fine. Blah blah blah. And yeah, so it knocked me down a couple pedestals, which is good. Sometimes you need that.
Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. So what are you are you happy going to the Granite Games? Because I typically don't doesn't the Granite Games mostly like favor like heavy lifts and like heavy weights?
Yes, so that I when I went to the Granite Games 2018, I had such an amazing experience. And I also we did Mid Atlantic as a team, and I had a great experience there as well. So I would have been happy at either one of them. But I was yes, Granite Games has generally had stronger events for like bigger athletes. So I was excited for that.
Okay, so what are your
And
expectations? Oh, go ahead.
Marquand is going. So no, I
Okay.
was thinking Marquand's also going. So we get to travel together, and it'll be good
Okay.
having somebody else there that like, I'm friends with.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. So what are your expectations through to go to when you were at Granite Games?
Um, I don't have like, I mean, obviously, I'd like to qualify for the CrossFit Games. That would be fantastic. But I know I have some like really, really, really stiff competition. Um, but so I just want to do my best, give 110% effort to every workout, have some fun, not take it not that I'm not going to take it seriously, I am, but like go in there with like a positive mindset, like I said, have fun and give it my best. And then, however I end up on the leaderboard, I'll be happy at the end of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. All right, very cool. So how do you handle bad situations? Like, so let's just say you didn't place like too well in one of the workouts and you have like a whole weekend left in front of you. So how do you handle, like, not really doing great at one workout and kind of pushing that aside and worrying about the other one, well, the next one?
You just have to and that's one of the good things about seeing all the workouts ahead of time. I can kind of know what ones are going to be my stronger ones and what ones are going to be my weaker ones. So, if you don't do, if you know something's not going to be a strong suit, you just have to remind yourself, like, okay, shake it off. You did your best, but the next one has this in it that you're really good at, and you're going to crush that workout. So now we're going to focus on that one.
Okay. Okay. So, one of the questions I kind of really wanted to talk to you about. So, there was an Instagram post that kind of went, I think, pretty viral for you. So,
Mhm.
would you consider it pretty viral for you?
Yeah, I would consider it pretty
Okay.
viral
Okay.
for
All
me
right.
at least.
All
Yeah.
right. I mean, I don't have a big following, so I wouldn't know. I'm happy I at least get like 50 likes on a post sometimes. So, um, but you actually posted a picture of yourself, like a full body picture, and
Mhm.
you've been relatively. You've even said in the post that you've been relatively a stronger, female compared to like a stronger built female compared to other females, and you've gotten like a lot of like, oh, you're on steroids and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, what made you do that post, and how do you like not think about what people say about you, especially with the steroids accusations?
Um, so I've been dealing with that since I was literally, and this is the funny part, like people just don't believe it because they've never seen it before or they've never heard of it before. I literally was at a high school track meet and like my track coach caught people taking pictures of my legs. Like I was like 13 or 14 or whatever it was, like 15, like a freshman in high school. So like I've been dealing and I've had that done you know, so many times. I was at a bar in college, standing at the bar, and I go back to the table to sit with my friends, and my friend pulls up Instagram and she's like, "Oh my God, are these your legs?" And the people at the table next to me took a picture of my legs and put it on Instagram. I was like, "Can you believe this girl's calves?" And it's like, seriously. But so I've been dealing with this literally since I was 15 years old. um it sucks, but I know the truth. Everybody around me knows the truth. Anybody who knows me, and that's the best part, like once that post was made and like all those comments were made, I had so many people reach out to me that were like, I hate seeing that because anybody who knows you knows that like you would never do that. So it's like, so it just sucks. But I mean, it is what it is. People are always going to have their opinions. People think they know everything.
Of course.
Again, a lot of it is just because they've never seen it before, so it can't be possible. Where it's like, maybe it is possible that I look like this and I don't do steroids, but you've just never seen it. Like, so, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to make the post because I mean, it's just, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who gets it. I know a lot of the other female athletes get the same thing, and it's like, certain pictures where like your stomach might protrude out a little bit, and it's like they're on steroids, or this view, or this angle, or this angle, and it's like, why does your first thought have to be that? Like, yeah, if it comes out that somebody took that, okay, cool, whatever, but like, just maybe people are just like it's a certain angle. It just I just wanted to like, I guess I'm not like not it's not gonna obviously no one's ever gonna put a stop to it. It's always gonna be there. But just kind of again bring some more attention to it. And then just remind people that like, don't make assumptions, don't think that like try don't automatically think the worst of somebody. Not that taking steroids is the worst, but the worst of somebody, or that they're doing something not right or cheating or whatever. Like just kind of be happy with what they're doing. Like we think it's awesome and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. And I'm a big proponent. Like a lot of people that say those kind of nasty comments, they got something going on in their life, and
Mhm.
it's really like it's just their way of like expressing, how their shitty life is pretty much. And
Yeah,
also is they don't know like how hard like you and other people to get
hmm
to that level. And and I commend you guys, because like I'm even jealous. I'm like, shit, I want to look like that, but it's like I know you guys are like super hard on yourself and dedicated and very very stringent, even with your diet and everything else, even sleep. So I know, and all they're used to is just sitting on the couch watching Netflix and chill, and it's like
exactly.
they're not used to that, and they all they see is just like overweight people and like or
Mhm.
like dad bods and stuff like that, and they just think automatically like, oh, you're on something because you can't. There's no way you can look
Yeah.
like that natural.
Exactly. And it's like what I thought was crazy. The crazy thing that I thought about it is so many people were so sure. Like their comments were, "There's absolutely no way. It's physically impossible." Like, and there comments from other athletes that were like, it's not genetically possible for her to look like that naturally. And it's like, how are you a specialist? Last time I checked, you're a CrossFit athlete.
Yeah.
So, are you like a genetic specialist? No. So like, how do you make such like a firm statement? Like, there's almost nothing that I'm that 100% positive about in life. And like, people are so positive that there's no way that somebody could look like me and be natural.
Yeah, they must have snuck into your bedroom and actually did a 23andMe test on you, because that's how they have to
I
know, right?
guess. Yeah, because they saw my blood work or something. Like, what are you talking about here, guys? Come on.
Unreal. But I do want to talk about another post you did when you actually cleaned 280, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that is amazing. So was that your PR? Have you run
Oh,
those
that
lifts?
was that the first I hit 282 in the quarterfinal for the total. But the first time I hit 280 was there in the fall. We had an in-house competition at our gym. Um, so the lift that we had was it was like one partner did a hang clean, one partner did a full clean, one partner and did snatches or whatever. So mine was the full clean. And at that point, my PR was, I think, like 260 or 265.
Damn.
And so I was just like, I just kept adding. And then all of a sudden I was at like 275 and I hit it. And then I was like 280 and I hit it. And I'm like, I have no idea where these numbers are coming from. And then I went for 290 and failed. But it was just, yeah, I mean, it was also, like I said, it was our in-house competition. So like everybody was there, the adrenaline was going, like everyone's cheering for me. Like this was, our event was already over and I just kept lifting because it was like, let's keep going. And yeah, so it was pretty awesome. But it was like a 20-pound PR. I have no idea where that came from.
That's
If I
so
could jerk
cool.
it, that'd be another story.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. That's so cool. If you jerk that thing, I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. So, but yeah, I saw that. I was like, and I love seeing people do Olympic weightlifting, especially CrossFitters, and like throwing up that kind of weight, and like for even for guys and
Yeah.
girls, I'm like, damn, that's like super impressive. And and yeah, I'm still in awe about that lift too. It's just it's crazy. So
Thank you.
we're getting close to the end. So I have a couple of like a couple questions that I usually like to talk. Like I used to ask, I ask every guest of mine. So obviously you want to do well in the Granite Games, but do you have any other goals, personal or CrossFit wise?
Um, CrossFit wise, it's really just, yeah, Granite Game qualifying for the CrossFit Games would be the biggest one. Personal, not really. I mean, we're talking about starting a family within the next year, so that would be um the next step. That's another reason why this year is kind of important because um I would like to take a break for a few years and start a family and then maybe come back as like a master's athlete when I'm like in my mid to late 30s. So this was like kind of not my last try, but like could possibly be my last run as like an individual, not as a master's athlete.
Okay, okay. What is your favorite book?
My favorite book, oh my gosh. I don't know if I have a favorite book specifically. Genre of books, I like murder mystery books and like suspense books like that.
Why do women always
Um,
like that kind of stuff? Like, I never get that. Like, I asked my wife that, and I'm like, "Why do you guys like that shit?" And they're like,
I don't
"I don't
know.
know. It's just crazy." And I'm
The
like,
same thing on Netflix. I'm all about serial killer documentaries.
yeah. So does your husband like look over and say like, "Should I be worried?" Like,
Yes. Like, the other night, actually, I finished a book and it was like, he's like, he literally was like, should I like sleep with one eye open? Should I be worried that you're going to murder me in my sleep? Because I'm telling him what happened. And like, no, I'm good. I promise. Just don't cheat on me with my best friend and you'll be fine.
yeah, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Thank you. Just for the night. And just say that I'm in trouble. We'll just leave it as that. So,
Funny.
so what is in your gym bag?
Uh, all of my gear that I need. So like grips, wrist wraps, wristbands, sneakers, knee sleeves, and then I always have like extra clothes, an extra outfit. Um, shaker bottle. What else? I always have gum. I always chew gum actually when I work out. So I
Okay.
always have to have a pack of gum and chapstick. Yeah, before every workout, I put chapstick on and I have a piece of gum in my mouth. Even when I
Okay.
was running track, I ran with gum. So that's like the necessary.
Yeah. Is it like a superstition kind of thing?
It was when I ran track, yes. And it's not as much now as it keeps my mouth moist. I mean, I hate that word, but like it keeps my mouth moist. So that's I hate when I get that cotton mouth
Oh,
feeling.
yeah,
It is like
awful.
my worst fear. So like gum stops that. And I mean, I don't even chew it most of the time. It's pretty much just like sitting in my mouth or like on the side of my mouth. But yeah, it's a little bit superstitious. I was really superstitious when I was running track. I was like, had to have the same things in my bag, same shoes. Like I had the same spikes throughout all 4 years. By the end of it, I was like taping the zipper back together, like with duct tape. They're like, we'll get you new shoes. I'm like, no, these are like, even. I mean, my lifters. I've had my lifters since I started. I have like the original Nike lifters. They're like the they're all frayed, like the laces. But I'm worried. What if I switch my lifters and then I'm not strong anymore?
True, true. Yeah, I'm the same way too. I'm very superstitious when it comes to that kind of stuff too. So I know, like even like I'll get a new pair of shoes and then like all of a sudden I'll have like a really shitty workout. I'm like,
Yeah, it was the shoes.
it's definitely the
Yeah.
shoes. It has nothing to do with me. It's definitely the
No,
shoes.
it's 100% their shoes' fault.
I know because I look like because I look amazing in these shoes, and now it's just like I have a bad workout because I'm just staring at them the whole time. So, so let's just I did so I'm gonna go a little deep on this one. So let's just say it's the last day on earth for you and you have like all your family and friends. I know deep. All your family and friends around you. How do you want people to know you as?
Wow. How would I want people to know me as? Just that I was a very loyal and good friend, I think. That's something that's really important to me is being um, there for my people, my friends. I'm very loyal. I'll do anything for you. I'll give you the shirt off my back if you're like one of my people. So I think that's the main thing I'd like to be remembered for, I guess, is just being a really good friend, a really loyal friend.
Okay, all right, I like that. I like that. I'll take that. So where can people reach out to you if they have any questions about like working out? Do you do like online? I forgot to ask if you do online programming or stuff like that, but like do you do like any of that kind of stuff?
I don't yet. I've definitely thought about getting into it. I've just been so busy. Like I just got married last year. So I was wedding planning and then also training and then um, getting into this season. So like I've just been so busy that I like haven't branched out into that, but I definitely thought about it. I mean, I do the programming for my gym. So you what would be the next step into just like programming for other people. But Instagram would be the best way. DM, my email's on Instagram too. So either one of those, as long as they're not inappropriate requests.
You've probably gotten a couple of those, so
Oh, a few, just a few.
yeah. My wife has a big following on Instagram, and she tells me all the things that like people say to her, and
I just don't understand it.
I'm like, you guys have like a lot of balls, even like trying to ask that. A lot of balls. Like I
Mhm.
would never ask that, never. So
Oh,
I don't know.
I know.
I don't
But yeah,
know.
Instagram would be the easiest way.
Okay. So
Because I always check my DMs and my message requests and all that. So
last question. Since you've been married for only like a little over a year, have people been already asking like after you got married, like when you're having kids?
surprisingly, no.
What?
I mean, I think also, but like we've already talked about having kids, and like so my family knows that like we're thinking about it. So maybe that's why. But I really haven't gotten we haven't gotten that many questions about it.
Oh, well, when
I
I
know,
got,
shocking.
yeah,
Because
yeah, because
normally it's like,
instantly, two
yeah, in
days
the
later.
first, yeah, instantly.
Yeah.
But like I
So,
said, I think because like, we have talked about it with our families and they know that we are thinking about it within the next year. So,
okay. Okay. Oh, you're very lucky. It's very annoying, by the way. So,
I mean, so we were together for 8 years before we were engaged. So we got that all the time. When are you getting married? So that was annoying. So I can imagine what the next one would be. But yeah, we have it so far. I mean, if we go another 2 or 3 years, I'm sure that'll be a different story. So my mom will be banging on the door.
yeah, everyone will be like, hey, when we having grandkids. So,
Yeah, what's happening?
yeah. Well, I will listen. I want to wish you good luck in the Granite Games. I'll be watching and I'll be rooting for you. And
Thank you.
thank you for coming on the show and being the
Thanks for
100.
having me.
Yeah, and you're the 100th episode, which is a milestone. So this
Yay!
is so
That's
cool.
super exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But thank you for because like I wanted to have you on, and I wanted to learn about like your life experience, like you being a sprinter, CrossFit, and all that stuff, and being a GM, and thank you for taking the time because I know you have to wake up early, so I'll let you go. But thank you for doing this, by the way.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time. I really did. My second podcast. It was great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you.